The Constitutional Court has allowed the domestic trade in rhino horn. The scrapping of the temporary prohibition on South Africa's rhino horn opens a door to criminal activity that some say is necessary to save a species and others say will doom it. Even opponents of South Africa's domestic rhino horn ban acknowledge that there is virtually no market for rhino horn inside South Africa. And so the opening of South Africa's rhino horn market brings with it an unpleasant reality that horn will now most certainly be smuggled out of South Africa to Asia. Now let's take a look at the ruling. The Constitutional Court has dismissed an appeal by the Department of Environmental Affairs. The appeal was to keep a temporary prohibition on the domestic trade in rhino horn. Now this decision meant that the sale of rhino horn was legal in South Africa. However, a global ban in the horn trade, which is regulated by a United Nations convention, remains in place. This essentially means horn acquired legally in South Africa cannot be exported from the country. So what led to this decision? Well, it is a very practical matter with very real costs involved. The government has not revealed the size of its rhino horn stockpile. PROA estimates its members have around 6 tons, while estimates that the government has close to 25 tons. The combined 31 tons could fetch $2 billion by some estimates.
Well, we have contested the moratorium since its introduction in 2009 because we believe it is in total violation of our constitutional rights and have accordingly fought it and actually took the matter, as you're aware, as high as the Constitutional Court. The situation on the ground is very dire, and unfortunately, the media are subjected to coverage from particularly animal rights NGOs who portray a very inaccurate picture. The reality is that we have expended over 2 billion rand since 2009 protecting these animals.
This has been a divisive issue for many years now within conservation circles. You've got a very pro-trade and those that are completely against the idea of trade. From the Game Rangers Association perspective, obviously our primary concern is for those that are protecting rhinos and rhinos themselves, and anything that's going to assist in saving rhinos and protecting people on the ground, we all for that. At the moment, though, I think it's very important to know that we are not going to stop poaching overnight because of this court ruling and because of any trade. I think that has been accepted by those that are pro-trade as well. It is an idea that needs to be explored, but at the same time, we mustn't fool ourselves that all the efforts on the ground need to stop now just because of this ruling. It's going to remain intense, and we are seeing that existing pressure playing itself out in many of the large populations of rhinos in our country where poaching is still continuing to escalate.
Well, from our side, the conservation of rhinos in the long term remain our main priority, and therefore the concerns, for example, raised by Chris around enforcement, we must keep in mind that we have a whole of government approach in terms of addressing rhino poaching. So it's not only the environmental sector that is taking responsibility for this, it's a priority crime in South Africa, so we have all the enforcement agencies working with us as a collective to address rhino poaching issues and to assist us in terms of enforcement actions to be taken to ensure the survival of the species.